Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Swinging Bull here, joining you for Power Hour. We do this every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Mr. Stocklock Profits had a prior obligation, so it'll just be me hosting today. And we do have James Legends, our options analyst, in the Discord. Let me see if I can pop him in here real quick. James, are you there? Okay, looks like we might have a little bit of audio issue on the StreamYard. So anyways, James Legends is in the Discord. If he has any comments, I'll be sure to repeat it for everybody. Anyways, what a day today. Looking at the heat map here, just bright green, blinding green here. We got Microsoft up 2.3%, Google up 4%. That's nice to see, a big company there. We got Meta, which is Facebook, was up 6%. Amazon up 2.7%. And again, it's a power hour, so we still have 1 hour worth of regular session trading here. And we do have Tesla up again today, 3.98%. They had a pretty good run the other day. So let me go ahead and pull up the SPY chart here. And as you can see, looking at the SPY chart, we had a nice pump in the morning, and ever since then, right around 10 o'clock, 10 to 10:30, started trading sideways for the remainder of the day. This would have been an ideal day to do an iron condor on the SPY after 10:30. You could have did a put credit spread on the bottom and a call credit spread on the top, and collected premium on those all day. As the day goes on and theta decays, you would have got some nice premium there on an iron condor. That's what I like to look for when I do play iron condors, is a stock that's kind of trading sideways. And of course, that's what SPY did today, and we could have capitalized on that. I personally did a lot of checking on my old plays today. I tend not to trade too much on a Friday. But I did do a couple trades here and there. Let's go ahead and look at what sectors were leading the pack today. So we can, yes, how you doing? Okay, awesome. Hey, so everyone listening on YouTube, James Legends we did figure out his audio issue.
How you can doing? Hear me now on there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. Welcome, Mr. James Legends, our
option
shot
caller. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Good to have you, man. It's about 3:05 Eastern. We just got into Power Hour. I do have my Thinkorswim broker pulled up right now, my TD Ameritrade broker, my Thinkorswim platform. So if we do get a little bit of selling in the SPY towards the end of the day before the bell rings, I might enter some SPY puts. But the way SPY's been acting all day, with the pump in the morning and trading sideways ever since, there's a good chance we might not get a sell-off. And I'm not going to be entering any call options, because we obviously had the run from this morning, and we just have it's just kind of been trading sideways all day. But I am ready to do a live trade if the opportunity presents itself. James, you had quite a few alerts today that did very well. I was looking at those earlier.
Yep.
How'd your day go?
Pretty good. So we started off the day. I had FedEx calls that I held overnight as a lotto. I only alerted those on the voice chat last night. I didn't put them out to everybody. It was because it's very high risk, and with the market the way it is, I didn't feel comfortable putting it out to everybody, but it did work out very well. It went 140% this morning. Wow. I had the Citibank call swing overnight, which was nice and solid. That was an 80%er for the day.
Yeah.
Then I did a AMD day trade that I took like a 8-10% loss on, something like that. And then I got 70% profit on Starbucks puts, 70% profit on Boeing puts. And now from the end of the day, I just bought a SPY put to swing. And I'm just going to swing it basically over the weekend. I'm just going to swing that put. So
very nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. No, I was looking at the Starbucks chart here, and it seems like a lot of stocks kind of did a similar move this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely was liking that Starbucks chart, especially in extended hours, in pre-market and stuff. We had that nice pop right when pre-market opened at 4 a.m. So that's when I knew that your Starbucks play was going to be a pretty good one there. And then and what would you say that Starbucks play ran like? Let me see here.
I took 70% on it. And that actually was pretty much the maximum there. Actually, I mean, it did come down to 76.90. So technically, it probably did run a tad bit more. It went to 160. But it's all right.
Nice,
70%
yeah.
is good enough. Yeah.
Oh, 70%. I mean, we gotta take that profit all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else was going on today? I noticed the cruise lines got a nice pop. Carnival Cruise Lines actually just did their earnings, and they had better than expected earnings, even though they didn't beat the earnings. But it was better than expected, and they're saying that their occupancy, for the ships is really high right now. Lots of bookings are coming in. Let me see if I can find some of these news articles here. Let's see. Yeah, will cruise stocks rebound on travel rebound hopes? Here's a news article here. Carnival stock jumps as revenue, occupancy, and booking volumes. They all three areas improved: revenue, occupancy, and booking volume. So that was a triple whammy there to the good side. And as you can see from the chart, it did very well. Actually, kind of started running. We can just go ahead and mute that real quick. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, nice run on the cruise lines. I like what I saw there. What else you been looking at, James?
So I wanted to go back to what we were talking about before just for a sec. I wanted to talk about the whole like day trading puts today on the SPY.
Yeah,
So the whole thing with that, right, is we have to look at this from a psychological point of view as well as a technical point of view, right? Because when you're trading, in reality, everybody we are trading against, billionaires. We're trading against market makers.
big money.
Okay.
Yeah,
And all of these hedge funds and market makers, what they do is they come out and they sell tons of options. Okay, they sell tons of options in hope that us as retail traders are going to buy them and then
yeah,
sell them back to them for less than what we bought them for, or that they expire worthless, right?
yep,
So options on SPY is the most heavily option traded stock in the entire market, right? It's the most volume on options out of any stock in the market is on SPY. Okay,
yep,
so when you're trading something like that has tons of eyes on it, you have to take into account the fact that it also has those billionaires and hedge funds and market makers' eyes on it as well. Okay. So when we get a day like this, where the SPY is up $9 or $8, whatever it may be, these types of days, especially on a Friday, everybody right now is thinking, oh, it's got to tank. It's got to come back down. We're in a bear market. It's got to drop. So that's the reason why that's not happening right now. Okay,
right.
because it's a Friday. Everybody thinks it's coming down because it's Friday. That's not a real thing. All right, the stock market doesn't come down because it's Friday. All right, just because it's a 3-day weekend or whatever it may be, that's a myth. That's a total myth that's put out there so that you can lose money on puts on Fridays.
Right.
All right. Now, so my whole idea with that was that's why I bought July 22nd puts on it, and I'm just going to swing them because
Yeah,
it came down. It looked like it was ready to drop. Okay. So I took the chance that it was ready to drop. I waited for the retest. I waited for 4 retest candles. I kid you not. I swear. Okay. And then I bought the puts and it still came back up. So I'm down like 4% on the puts right now, that's fine. I don't care. Right.
right.
Because I'm okay with being 4% down on something that I'm swinging overnight. It's totally fine.
Well, you got extra time on the contract, so you don't have to really worry about the very drastic swings in the premium so much, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's the whole idea behind why I did that and why I did the credit spread instead of putting out something that expires like 3 days from now or next week or whatever. Like it's not worth it. If SPY does tank in the end of the day, great. I have the put. The puts. I'm happy,
Yeah,
right? But if it doesn't, I'm still okay because I can hold it over the weekend. So that's
yeah,
the whole
absolutely.
idea.
And I was just looking at the SPY chart, and you alerted those puts I mean, it was obviously after this pump in the morning, right? So you're kind of catching it in this consolidation phase, right?
Yeah.
So, it could be very well likely that on Monday, at market open, there could very well be a pullback, and then those puts would definitely go into profit then, since they were purchased towards the top of this consolidation phase that it's in right now. And of course, we had the gap up this morning. SPY gapped up from 376.94-ish area, all the way up to 380.70. So almost a $4 gap up in the morning. And we know SPY loves to fill gaps. So, who knows? After a run like we had today, SPY up over 2.5%. We very well could get a pullback on Monday, or looking at the daily chart on SPY, this thing might continue to run, because we're right at the 20-day MA on the daily chart, and we're actually a little bit above it, just a hair above it. So who knows? Maybe Monday it holds that level and continues up, maybe to the 50 moving average. But like we said, SPY does like to pull back, especially after green days, right? So those
three green days in a row, which we haven't seen in a long time now.
Yeah, it's been quite a few weeks here, like almost a month, since we've had 3 in a row, like what we're seeing here. But yeah, I like the play. Can't wait to see what happens on Monday with everything. Another thing I was looking at today, I was looking at Apple. Apple's kind of following the SPY a little bit, right? Just a little bit. But that Apple's actually had a great week this week as well. So I'll be watching that next week to see if there's any pullbacks. I'm looking to add to my retirement position, like in the low 130s. If it does pull back towards there, I'll probably add a little bit down there. So I'll be watching that as well on Monday. Wanted to see what sectors were leading the pack today, and everything that's in around 3%, I would consider that probably the top of the pack. And we got consumer discretionary. I like seeing them go green, because that means people aren't too worried about inflation anymore, maybe, among other things, because these are discretionary stocks, things that you would spend extra money on, right? Not really basic need stuff. So I like seeing that go green, especially like today. So that was towards the top. We got financials. Financials and basic materials were tied for the top. And then at the bottom, healthcare, utilities, consumer staples. A lot of times these are the 3 that run when the market's not doing too good. So they're at the bottom. So that's nice to see. Looks like we might have some recovery going on here. What do you think, James? You think maybe this is like another bear market rally, like we had towards the end of May? We kind of gained a little bit. There was a little relief rally there, and then of course we had that big run in March, where everyone thought that we were recovering for good and we're out of the woods, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you think about this latest run that we've had? Now it is making lower lows on the daily. You can see right here. Get rid of this line.
So I mean, you guys already know what I think, right? Because I bought puts to hold over the weekend. So
yeah, that's right.
I think that it's a nice run, and it was nice to make money on the run, and now I would like to make money on it going back down. I think that we've seen how many times now where we get these runs, and then everybody thinks we're going up by calls, everybody buy calls, and then we drop. Plus we also have the weekend ahead of us, which anything could happen over the weekend. News could come out, who knows? Right. So I'm generally bearish right now going forward from here. SPY might go to like 388.60 today. It's possible. Okay, if that happens, I'm still holding my puts. I'm not going to cut them because it goes up. I'm just sticking with my plan that I'm going to swing them. But it's possible it could hit like 388.60, maybe 389, something like that. That would be about a $12 move from the bottom in the pre-market, which generally $12 is like, quote unquote, the maximum SPY can move. We've also seen, though, that recently, like in a very volatile market, it's gone as high as 17. Right. But like for me, like those are the three magic numbers on SPY. There are three of them. So we have 7, 12, and now the new addition of 17 because of how volatile the market is.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And I mean, just looking at the daily chart of SPY here that I have pulled up, anytime we've had a run like we just had, there's definitely been, it's followed by selling. I mean, we're going back here to, we can even go just start at January 2022 this year. We get this run right here and the end of January, early February, and then it's followed off by selling. We get another run in February, around February 24th is when we hit this trend line here. Immediately, buyer stepped in, and we get the run, and then it's followed by more selling. And then again, happened in March. We get this nice run here. Like I said earlier, everyone thought we were out of the woods and we're going back to a bull market. And then that was, you know, and you can always size up the amount of the run, and is usually, you know, it can be comparable to the amount of the selling. Like these little runs back here, it's followed by some selling, a run here followed by some selling. We get a big run, and look how much longer the selling run lasted because of the size of the bigger run. And then of course in May this was about a month ago. We get that nice run. We kind of hit a bottom at 379. Ran all the way above 400 to 414, 416 area. Quite a big run last month, and then once again followed by the selling. So here we are again, right? Here we are. We're on a run. When this run ends, you know, I definitely think puts are going to be a good idea, just like you said. You know, time to play the downside, right?
Exactly.
And of course, the run we just had, I mean, we were playing call options as well. I mean, you know, that's what we're doing, folks. You know, we're playing both sides, up or down. If it goes flat, we have option strategies to play when it trades sideways as well. So yeah, that's good stuff there. Absolutely. Let me see. Let's see what's gaining here. USAK. This is a trucking company. They only got 2.5 million volume. They had a big blast off earlier. BNTC, this is one we've played quite a bit. You know what else I've also noticed, James, is a lot of biotechs are gaining steam lately. And I was talking with Lee about this the other day. And sometimes we do see biotechs run, you know, in the summer and kind of a little bit after the summer. And I'm just, you know, like BNTC right here. They're up 100% today. So if you were in that, you got some good gains on there. TBLT, we played this quite a few times in premium. That had just a stair step up run in pre-market today. And wasn't this one that Amy called out? I think she did equity play on this for the momentum.
Yeah, it sounds like an Amy or maybe a Quench.
Yeah, pretty sure it was on the stock side though. They did, you know, Amy does a fantastic job alerting the momentum alerts in the morning, and I think this was one of the ones on her list, and that she put out there, and hell of a run there. I can actually go to, let me just go to her channel because actually let me just type it in here, TBLT, and then oh yeah, yep, it was on her watch list today. Now the awesome thing is Amy's watch list this morning only had 4 possible alerts, and out of those 4 alerts, TBLT was one of them, and she got some nice gains on that earlier. She alerted around 3. If the price got above 330, that was her entry level there. And sure enough, it did right when the bell rang, and it ran from 330 all the way to 395. So that's a good what, over 10% right there, 10-15%. So we played that, and let's see here, what else do we got? We had quite a few alerts get alerted today in premium. I'm just going through all of the logs here. Let's see.
Right. So if you take a look at the markets for today, right? Obviously, everything is going to be, pretty much for the most part, super green,
Yeah.
right? So that's what that is, right? But if you go and you look at the last month, the top 4 sectors in the market right now for the last month, believe it or not, are going to be miscellaneous educational service, renewable energy, automobiles, auto parts, and diversified retail. Right.
Interesting.
So those are your 4 top sectors. And then under that, actually, the 5th one is exactly what you just said, biotech and medical research.
Yeah. So they're kind of trailing behind, but still kind of trending up a little bit, right? So
Yes.
that's really good there. Okay. Looks like TBLT selling off right now. I just want to go back to SPY real quick and see if there's any opportunities. Nope. Looks like it still wants to I mean, it's kind of running up a little bit overall, still kind of sideways. No really big price moves yet. So we'll keep our eye on that. But yeah, no, that was some interesting sector information you just gave out. I always like looking at the sector information, and once you look at it enough, and then over the years, you start seeing patterns. Money moving from one sector to the other. I think what a lot of people are waiting on right now is if there's going to be a lot of money coming out of energy and into another sector. I think there's going to be a big rotation soon. As soon as we see some relief with the energy and the gas and the oil and stuff like that. What do you think about that? You think a lot of the money and energy is going to rotate out here soon?
Right. So I think that right now the whole deal with that is that oil is so hot and so is energy that there are so many eyes on it that it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster to play those things correctly, right?
Yeah. hmm
So
And you'd be buying if you did go long on energy right now, you'd kind of be getting in at the top, right? Like at the end of the run, maybe.
that's how it would feel at this point, yeah. But the
Yeah.
thing is, too, is that in the summertime, energy goes up and energy prices go up, and so do gas prices
True.
every summer, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it can have a healthy pullback and then probably go higher. To be honest, the oil anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. You know, basically, just be careful getting in when something's already ran so much. But I do think there is still some of the run left. That's just my opinion. Here's a chart of Oxy right here. Kind of a good indicator of how the oil industry's doing, right? So I got a Fibonacci drawn out here from the previous high down to the previous low, and it's sitting kind of around this 23% fib line, which would be $59. I think if Oxy can get back above 59, then we'll head to the next fib line, which would be around 62. So we got a couple different possible plays we could take, just based off of the daily chart on Oxy. If this does continue to run and get above this $59 level, we could probably get in some call options. Maybe do a quick swing play with some call options if it does break 59. So I'll be watching to see if it does break 59. If it doesn't get back above 59, well, folks, we're probably heading back down to this, below 55, I think. What do you think about that, James?
Yeah, and that hit 59 today, huh?
Yeah, it did.
So,
It
so that actually would have
up.
been a fantastic entry for puts. I mean, you had the fib right there. Yeah, that would have been a pretty solid entry right there.
Yeah, I mean, I can
But yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, that fib, it's not exactly how I would draw mine, but I would still say it's valid. It's like a nice touch point. It's still where it's pretty much got its resistance.
Right.
Also, like for those that don't know, with Fibonacci, the number isn't always going to be absolutely to the T where the stock resists or supports.
Right.
Okay, with the Fibonacci, it's more meant for levels, for where it can go and where it needs to break to continue to the next.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
so if it could break and hold 59, then the next level up is 61, right? And then on and so forth.
Yep, that's exactly right, James. That's, we're not just using the Fibonacci. Oh, if it breaks this level, we're buying calls. What we're waiting for is a retest and whether that retest is successful or not. So that's what happened on Oxy today. We broke through that 59 level. And then now we're waiting for the price to come back down to retest. Now, if we would have got a bounce here and made a new high of day, definitely confirmation. We could probably take that up to the next fib line. But as you can see, it came down to retest and completely failed. And now we're back below it. So that's basically kind of what James was saying, right? Is we're using the fibs as levels, not so much to enter and exit trades, but levels to see if they hold or not.
Yeah, Fibonacci. Fibonacci is good because it helps you keep confidence in your trade to hold for more gains.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely a good indicator. We like using the fibs over here, and we couple that with a lot of other things to let us know what maybe we should or should not be doing. Amazon, nice run. It's kind of following the market a little bit, but I like what it's doing. The past 3 trading days, we got a nice higher lows going on and higher highs going on. I'll be watching Amazon. I can actually draw. Let's go ahead and mark this out a little bit. It's kind of following the 200-day EMA. I might not even need to draw this line. It's kind of just following this 200 moving average. So on the 15-minute chart, this is the 5-minute chart over the past 3 trading sessions. I'll be keeping my eye on the 200 moving average to see if it breaks that, or we could definitely draw a trend line as well. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points here. I think that would be a good trend line there. So we'll be looking for Amazon to stay above this trend line for continuation. And, we could get in and out day trading this if it does come back and touch this trend line and we get a retest and a bounce, then we could probably enter calls and, play the next pump on this thing. What else do we have here? Let me look at, let's see what's been running today. Let's go here.
Dogecoin.
I'm sure the crypto. I actually haven't looked at crypto today, but I'm sure it's doing pretty well today.
Yeah, did Elon Musk tweet about it again or something?
I think he did actually, like a couple of days ago. Yeah. And also, like, to answer your question as to like what is running today, you could see that a lot of like China stocks are running, like Baba. That's
Right.
running pretty nice today. It's up 5%. Boeing is up almost 6% for the day.
Oh,
Facebook,
nice.
That's another one. Facebook needed a bounce back though. Facebook
They did.
Getting destroyed, man.
They've been getting hammered, man. Let's pull that up.
And then obviously also FedEx because of the earnings.
I got a question. Like, I'm a little rookie to this. So, what do you guys think about Doge and like these cryptos? Do you think it's gonna go back up or stay the same?
You might. Okay, well, I could answer that question. What I think, but also save that question too for Amajama, and Jackal, because they're really like the main crypto experts of the Discord. But
they actually, James, I don't mean to interrupt, but they actually have a crypto stream that starts in 30 minutes on this same channel. So literally, if you hang out here for 30 minutes, you can ask the crypto experts about that. But what were you saying, James? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I think that I always liked crypto for the long term. As far as like Dogecoin goes, it has a shot. Okay, it has a shot at being bigger than what it is right now. It really does. And the reason for that, as far as I know, is that the fees for it, number one, are barely anything, and it's also very, very easy to transact, to make transactions with, right? So It's a very simple coin to use. That's all well and good. So that's why I think that it has a shot at going somewhere. Why I don't think it has why it could not have a shot at going somewhere, rather, is because of how many coins of it that exist.
Right.
And also the fact of the matter is that there are a few certain entities in the world that own such a large portion of Dogecoin that the only way for it to actually really get off the ground, start running, and like make it somewhere would be for them to finally get out and sell, right? Because they're going to hold it down because they have such large positions that it can't. There's only so high it can go, and then they start kind of like selling it off, if that makes sense. So that's my thought about Doge. As far as like crypto in general, I think that some of them will make it, but like the only three, or actually rather really two, that I have any faith in whatsoever are Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I also like the third one, like the kind of like YOLO lotto crypto that I have is Mana. I like that one because it's used in the metaverse. And I think
I got some Mana. I got Mana. I got Matic too. Matic's pretty good. These are just ones I'm holding long term. But I mean, just looking at the Dogecoin chart, you know, if you're looking to go long on this, you know, definitely have a small position. As long as this price action is below this trend line here, try and keep your position a little bit small. For it to reverse, I would like to see the price action go above this trend line, possibly get a retest and a bounce off of it. So that's my opinion on the Doge chart as far as technical analysis goes. Is, as you can see, it's been trading underneath this trend line. Sometimes it kind of widens the distance of the trend line. That's where I think it's a little overextended, or maybe oversold there, undervalued. And that's when because the further it gets away from this trend line, the more oversold I think it's going to be at that point in time. And then you do see buyers to start stepping in, and then the sellers, the people shorting it, as you can see, they're not letting it get above this trend line. So we need to see the price action get above this trend line to kind of, you know, overcome the sellers. The buyers need to overcome the sellers by getting above this trend line. And then I do think we could see some continuation to the upside. And then, of course, you know, couple any, you know, volume price action. You know, when we do get buyers stepping in, you know, is there, we got to look at the news as well. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing Doge get accepted to have more like utility, right? And there are already a lot of merchants that are accepting the coin as payment. So if that can continue increasing as well, if it can get more widely adopted as a form of payment, I do think we can get some upside out of it. But we're at the mercy of that happening. So until the price action gets above this trend line, just try and keep your position somewhat small. If we can get above the trend line and retest and a bounce, that's where you're going to probably want to add the bulk of your position, because then you're buying into the momentum. And then, of course, raise your stops as it goes up and protect your capital. But Flexi, the asset on Discord, I hope that maybe helped a little bit with the technical analysis part.
Nah, yeah, for sure did. Honestly, like, it's just, I hope that swing goes up, man, because I'm sticking for this rocket production.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm a fan of Doge. I hope it does get adopted more and gets more utility. And as time goes on, and if those things do start happening, I definitely think there could be a future with Doge. So we just got to
also B Money was asking if you can chart Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Sure. Let's look at Bitcoin here. Here it is right here. So here we go with Bitcoin. I mean, we could draw a pretty basic fib on this right now and kind of get some levels. We could probably mark this previous high. I'll do it a little closer to the price action. And then we'll mark the bottom out here. So as far as Bitcoin goes, you know, it's so funny because a lot of these levels were levels that me and Amy have been talking about. As far as this 20,000 level was very important. And then we knew that the next level could have been 17.5, which it hit there. We were talking about 17.5 before it even hit there. And that was based on some Fibonacci extensions that, not the retracements, but we did some extensions. And it did plot out a 17.5 level that we should keep our eye on. And sure enough, it hit that level. So for Bitcoin, you know, if we can't, you know, we're at 21,000 now. We're a little bit above this 23% fib line. We absolutely need to hold 20. If we don't hold 20, because what's happening here is we broke through the 20 to the downside. We hit the 17.5 level that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. And now we're trying to reclaim the 20. So this 20 level is going to be very important. Are we going to reclaim it, or are we going to fall back down? If unfortunately, if we don't reclaim it, the chances of it falling through 17.5 and possibly going down further, maybe to 15. I've even heard some crazy numbers that maybe we might see 13,000 if we can't reverse here. So just keep your eye on holding this 20. If we can hold the 20,000 and get back to this 23,000, well, now that's confirmed. We've reclaimed the 20, and maybe we get a little bull run out of it. But again, if we don't hold this 20, I definitely think it's going to come back down to 17.5, and there'll be an increased risk of it not holding the 17.5 and possibly going a little bit lower. So I hope that helps with the Bitcoin chart, the overall picture. Basically, to answer your question, the level we're at right now is the level we need to be watching. Are we going to hold it or not? What do you think about that, James?
Right. So I think it's totally possible we can get like a little bull run on crypto within like the next month or so.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's going to go lower than where it was before today. On the last drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I just don't. I'm a bear, man. I'm just a bear. What can I tell you?
Especially this year,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bear year.
Yeah, it really is. And, I think that people are going to get excited. People are going to get too excited. They're going to jump in. We're going to get the FOMO run, and then it's just going to drop off more than it did before.
I think
That's
so.
Personally, what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. I mean, and, everything that happened with Luna, which was a crypto that was supposed to be based off of a stable coin, the USDT. And with that crashing, a lot of people lost faith in a lot of the altcoins, a lot of the smaller coins. But I think a lot of people are going to be putting their focus back onto Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that stuff, like the big ones. I think once we make it out of this little crypto crash that we're in right now, big crypto crash that we're in right now, once we make it out of it and start trending up again, I think there's going to be a lot more attention on the bigger coins. And then, unfortunately, some of the smaller coins just might not survive,
Yeah, and that's something that we've kind of anticipated, I think, for a long time now, is that, like, there's no way in hell that all of these coins are going to survive. I mean, there's so many of them. How could they all do well? It's just not.
There's a lot of them. Isn't there like tens of thousands or like thousands of them? Or, I mean,
sheesh, I have no clue the answer to that, but I know that there's a lot that I do know.
Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, well, I can't guarantee you, but, my opinion is a lot of them are just not going to be able to recover from this,
Right.
B Money says, appreciate it. Yeah, no problem, B Money. Glad we could maybe chart this out for you and answer some questions for you about it. Crypto, me personally, I'm waiting to see if this 20,000 area holds. If we get another fall back to 17.5, I'm gonna have some limit orders in. I'll probably have one in at 17.5, not a big order, and then I'll probably put another order around 15,000, see if that gets filled. If it continues, if it doesn't hold this 20 here. So definitely got my eyes on it, 100%. I do have a crypto portfolio that I'm holding long term. I know there's a lot of people in the Titan trading group that we have that day trade a lot of crypto, and they short a lot of crypto as well. I'm not so much of a day trader of crypto, but I do like building a long crypto position with my favorite coins. So that's basically what I'm doing with crypto right now. What else can we talk about here? I know we had, I wanted to see, yeah, there wasn't really a lot of red out there. I mean, we can look at the top losers, and yes, there was some red out there, and I'll pull it up right now. That this is the top losers in a day. Meta Materials. Let's see what company this is. Okay, they're a tech company, semiconductors. I mean, that whole industry's just been getting hit so hard, especially with the chip shortage and all that stuff. But as far as at UPC, let me go to some smaller charts here so we can see. 1 minute. Yeah, not really much volume on that one. Let's see. GNS. So there was some red out there. It's just not really well-known companies, you know. Let's see who these people are. Yeah, again, another tech company. It seems like tech, you know, are the ones that are selling off today. Didn't they have a little bit of a run? Tech had a little bit of a push up lately, and I think that's maybe they're selling off now because of that. Let's see here.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, the tech sector is always the sector that's going to run the hardest and drop the hardest.
Yeah,
too.
very volatile, right?
Right. That's how it is. Yeah. And the reason for that is because they're all, especially on the dropping side, they're all very speculative plays, right? Like tech is an industry that's extremely competitive, right?
Right.
So not so you know, even Apple, for example, somebody could come out 10 years from now, 10 years from now, be better than Apple. Who knows, right? Anything could happen. So in the tech industry, that's why it's such a roller coaster ride, is because since it's so speculative, people sell that off because of fear.
Right.
Right. And then when they buy it back, it goes up a lot because because it drops so heavy, it could go up heavy, right? It's just how it is. It's volatile.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of the tech companies are speculative. You know, they're working on technology that, you know, isn't out yet, and it could be considered speculative. A lot of these tech companies as well, which just what James was saying, you know, those are the companies that, you know, when they run hard, they also sell off hard. You know, it's they can do 100% retracements, no problem. We do have a question on YouTube here from Mr. Jeff Thompson. Appreciate you joining us in the stream. He says, how about BOXD running into next week? Okay, great question there. I was actually watching this earlier because they were, you know, they're up 35% on the day. So what we can do is, you know, plot out some levels to look at here. And this is going to be based on the previous high to the previous low that it hit in pre-market this morning. So as you can see, we have some nice levels we can look at here, especially when it hit that low in pre-market. What we were looking for it to get out of this downtrend per se, is it to maybe retrace to this 23% fib line, which it did. Okay, it broke through it, no problem, which was 194. The momentum was really, really great. And as you can see from the lower time frame chart on the 1 minute, if you look at the volume profile, you see all this volume coming in right here. That was really good to see. And with that volume that came in, that's why we not only broke through the 23, but we broke through the 38% fib line, which was 214. Broke through that, had trouble holding that level, and wasn't able to hold it at that point in time. Me personally, I think it wasn't able to hold because the volume kind of started dying off and getting smaller. As you can see, the decrease in the volume profile here on the chart, on this 5 minute chart, it starts decreasing. So that's why I couldn't hold that line. Buyers kind of backed off a little bit. Sellers stepped in. We got four big red selling, not big red selling candles, but you know, after this run, we did have 4 volume candles in a row, all red, which told us that the sellers were stepping up the selling pressure. Then the buyer stepped back in again. It hit its head on this 38% line again, and wasn't able to be successful at that time. But as you can see in the afternoon, all you got to do is look at the volume profile. As soon as these 2 big volume candles came out, that could have signified a sustainable run there. And sure enough, that's what happened. Buyers stepped in the afternoon. We finally got back above the 38% fib. Now we're heading to 230. It's kind of hit that level and basically kind of hung out around that level, this 230 level, for the most of the afternoon. And then right before power hour, boom, more buyers stepped in. and now we're consolidating again. So to answer your question, Jeff Thompson, keep your eye on this 230 level. You know, that this is going to be the level for Monday, you know, assuming it consolidates into close today and then into extended hours. We don't fall back below that level. But if we can hold 230 leading into opening, you know, market open on Monday, I do think there's a great chance it can continue to run. And the next resistance is going to be your 268 and your 297. All right. And then, of course, you know, it's kind of hanging out a little bit below this 246. So levels to watch for BOXD is number one, we need it to hold the 230 going into market open. If we do hold the 230 level and we get a bounce on Monday, we're looking at, you know, targets of 246, 268, and then a retest of this. It's going to be real strong resistance at this 296. You can basically call it the $3 level if you want. So I hope that clarifies some things for you, Jeff, on the BOXD chart. Some levels you need to keep your eye out for. Again, on Monday, market open, if it's having trouble holding this 230 area, you know, this run might be retracing to the downside a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I was going to say, if I may add to that.
Yes.
So one thing you want to do when you're trading stocks like this, I used to trade stocks like this all the time. I kind of gave up on them after a little while because I just like options more. But so when you're trading stocks like this and they run run hot for the day, you always want to check out the filings. So I'm looking at the filings right now, and I could see that they have an S1 that they filed on May 31st. And then and by the way, an S1 is an offering filing.
Okay.
And then they put a notice of effectiveness for that offering on June 15th. So only about a week ago, they made the offering effective, which now means that they can offer out whenever they want. So I'm going to actually take a quick look to see if they put an offering price here.
And they, I mean, the shares out, you know, and maybe Webull hasn't updated their information with that S1, but they have about 70 million shares out, and their free float's only 50 million. So they got 20 million shares to kind of play around with as it is.
Yeah. So they also, so they could offer up 15 million shares right now. It doesn't define a price that they have to sell it at, which means they could do it at any price that they want, right? So then also you want to take a look now that we know they have an offering, we want to take a look at their 10Q, which is the quarterly report. This will tell me how much cash they have on hand. So as of March 31st, 2022, they had 69 million in cash. However, you also have to take a look at their liabilities, right? So they have a total liabilities of $236 million. So they only have 100 million in assets, okay, altogether, and then they have 236 million in liabilities. This company is 200% debt to asset ratio.
Oh, wow.
So I would say that's a little risky, and there most likely is an offering coming soon.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking at similar data that I mean, your data might be a little more accurate. I'm looking on Webull here, but yeah, I mean, total liabilities, you know, it's a lot more than their asset, especially on the quarterly statement. So we want to be careful when they have that much debt, you know, a lot more debt than their assets. We got to be careful with them, right? So.
Exactly.
It's about 3:51 p.m. Bell's going to ring in about 10 minutes. If anybody has any options they don't want to hold over the weekend, consider maybe closing those out. And of course, if you have SPY options, they trade until 4:15 p.m. Eastern. So just a little warning there. Market closes in about 8 minutes. Let's go back to SPY and see what it's doing. Got the 5 minute.
Just hit 389.
Yeah, it just made a new high a day. Look at that. Yep. So what a run by SPY. And this run's been going on since, let's see here. I mean, I can go to the 15-minute chart. Might be easier to see, ever since we hit that low of 362. I mean, it's been volatile, up and down, but overall, it's trending up, right? So we'll go ahead and mark a trend line here at 362. We got 3 touch points here. Let me make the trend line a little brighter so everyone can see it. So we hit that low of 362. Got a nice run after that. Gap down and retested this trend line here. Held the trend line very nicely. Had another run on June 22nd, 2 days ago, and then came back to the trend line again. Another mini run, then back to the trend line again. So as you can see, this trend line is very important. We got 1, possibly 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points. So I kind of see what you're seeing, James, on those SPY puts you put out, and look how overextended we are from this trend line. Look at all that space. To me,
right,
we might be getting pulled.
And the whole thing is like my SPY puts are only down 6% right now, so that's the reason why, like, I don't mind holding it, right? Like,
yeah,
yes, it came up $1 or so from where I bought them, but it's okay. It's only down 6%. It's not like we're sitting here losing tons of money by sitting in the puts still, right? So that's the whole idea of buying far out, like that.
Absolutely.
Is that it looked like it was ready to come down. It wasn't ready to come down, but it's okay if it wasn't, because we could wait until next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we might even see something like this on Monday, but who knows? I'm just thinking how overextended it is from this trend line. Could be something that we need to keep our eye on. That we could be going to overbought conditions possibly, but that we could see something like this next week, right? A retrace to the trend line, and then maybe a bounce off it again, like it's been doing.
Yep.
So this is what we need to keep our eye out for SPY for next week, something like this. So anyway, it's about 3:55 now. Got the 1-minute chart on the SPY still pulled up, and we're just consistently making new highs a day over here. Hit 389.30. Look at that. Bell's going to ring in 5 minutes.
You're probably going to get a little bit of red here, I think, into the close.
Yeah. Look at all this buying volume here on the volume profile. That's a lot of volume coming in a day. But I think you're right, James, and it might have already just begun here. This is the 1-minute chart. We're starting to sell off a little bit. We do have a red volume candle here forming. So here we go. Does anyone else have any other questions on Discord or YouTube? I think we went over quite a bit here. But yeah, just some of the things we're going to be watching for next week, specifically how the SPY reacts to being so overextended of this trend line here. We'll see if this trend line does have some more demand left in it. And if it does, it could go back, it could get pushed down, and then we could see some accumulation down by the trend line with some buying volume that pushes it back up, hopefully. And, I'd like to stay optimistic. I know it's been definitely a bearish year so far. So we're still waiting to get some stability on the SPY. So, looking at the bigger time frame on SPY, let me get rid of these arrows here. I mean, just a pretty good week. That's all I can say. Now, if we do continue the run, maybe we do pull back to that trend line we were looking at earlier, and then we get a bounce. If that happens, we have another gap to fill right here, don't we? Right here at 393. We can get close to this area, 393 area. I'm going to go ahead and mark that out with a horizontal line level. We need to keep our eye on here. If we can get back to 393, possible gap fill to the upside to 398 right there. So that's another thing we can keep our eye out on for next week. If we do continue staying green, nice healthy pullbacks are fine. But if we do continue making higher lows, here's a potential play right here, gap fill play, 393 to 398. So we'll be looking at that next week as well. You got anything to close it out, James? Bell's going to ring in about 3 minutes.
No, that's really it. I hope everybody had a good day. I'll also just take the last couple of minutes, just mention to all the people here who are in the free section that we are doing an open house on Monday, June 27th. So it's going to be full day of live streaming all day long, live trading. It's going to be every single shot caller is going to get their own little solo live stream. And then we're also going to do a big one at the end of the day where we're all together. So it's going to be a really fun day, full of education, alerts, everything. Everything is free. So I'll put the link in the free live stream chat if you guys want to sign up for that. All you need to do is put your email and number in, and you'll get an email that tells you, the forward steps from there. Just to if you're not in the Discord, that's what the email is basically for. But
Nice.
I'll throw that link in the free live stream chat, and that's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you'll put that link in there. If people listening on YouTube, there is a link to our free Discord in the YouTube description. And like James was saying, Monday, we're doing an open house for our premium section. All of our premium content is going to be free for basically 24 hours. We'll market open to market close, I believe. So come join us on Monday. And like James mentioned, we have tons of streams going on, live streams going on throughout the whole day. Get a chance to spend some time with each shot caller and analyst, and you get to check out all of our premium content, specifically all the education and all the premium alerts that are going to be alerted on Monday. You get access to all that at no charge. So fantastic opportunity to come see what we're all about. But other than that, appreciate everyone joining us for Power Hour. We do this every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, James Legends, for joining me today. And
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It was great having you, man. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.